Those cool grays and stark whites that dominated every Pinterest board for the past decade are officially over, and if you're still using them, your home is going to look dated by the end of this year. As an interior designer who's worked with over 300 clients in the past 5 years, I've seen the shift happening in real time, and today I'm sharing the 10 most popular neutral paint colors that are taking over in 2025, plus exactly where to use each one so you can create a whole house color palette that feels current, cohesive, and absolutely stunning. Let's start with Benjamin Moore Cloud White, and this is the perfect choice when you want a true white that doesn't feel cold or sterile like those harsh whites from the past decade. In our recent project in Westchester, we used Cloud White throughout the entire main level, and the homeowners were amazed at how warm and inviting it felt compared to their previous Chantilly lace walls. Cloud White has just enough warmth to prevent that hospital feeling, but it's still clean enough to make your space feel larger and brighter. We typically use this in living rooms, kitchens, and hallways where you want maximum light reflection without sacrificing warmth. The key thing to watch out for with Cloud White is that it can look slightly pink in rooms with a lot of natural light, so always test it on multiple walls before committing. This color will give you that fresh, modern look that photographs beautifully and makes every other color in your room pop. What I love most about Cloud White is how it works with both warm and cool accent colors, making it incredibly versatile for homeowners who like to change their decor seasonally. Moving into the beige family, Sherwin Williams Accessible Beige is absolutely perfect when you want something warmer than white, but not as bold as a true beige. This is actually the most requested color in our studio right now, and I can see why after working with it on dozens of projects. In a recent project in Connecticut, we used Accessible Beige in a master bedroom that had northern exposure, and it completely transformed the space from feeling cold and unwelcoming to cozy and sophisticated. Accessible Beige has these beautiful undertones that shift throughout the day, looking more gray in the morning light and more beige in the evening. We've used this successfully in bedrooms, dining rooms, and even powder rooms where you want something neutral but with personality. The thing to be careful about with Accessible Beige is that it can look muddy next to pure whites, so if you're using white trim, make sure to choose a softer white like Cloud White instead of a stark white. This color will give you that expensive designer look that makes guests ask what color you used. Benjamin Moore Revere Pewter is the holy grail when you want a Greige that actually works in any lighting condition. I've been using Revere Pewter for over 8 years, and it has never let me down. In our most recent whole house renovation in Fairfield County, we used Revere Pewter in the open concept living area, and it created this beautiful flow between the kitchen, dining, and living spaces without feeling boring or flat. Revere Pewter is technically a Greige, which means it's a perfect blend of gray and beige, but what makes it special is how it adapts to your lighting and decor. In rooms with warm lighting, it leans more beige, and in rooms with cooler lighting, it shows more gray. We use this color everywhere from entryways to master suites because it's literally foolproof. The only thing to watch for with Revere Pewter is that it can look slightly purple in rooms with a lot of artificial light, so make sure your lighting is warm-toned. This color will give you that timeless, sophisticated look that never goes out of style. Sherwin Williams Natural Linen is your go-to choice when you want something in the cream family that doesn't feel yellow or dated. This color has been gaining massive popularity because it bridges the gap between white and beige perfectly. In a recent nursery project, we used natural linen on all 4 walls, and it created this serene, cocoon-like feeling that was perfect for a baby's room. Natural linen has these subtle, warm undertones that make it feel cozy without being overwhelming, and it pairs beautifully with both warm and cool accent colors. We've used this in bedrooms, home offices, and even kitchens where the homeowner wanted something softer than white, but not as bold as beige. The key thing with natural linen is that it can look too yellow in rooms with a lot of warm artificial light, so make sure to test it with your specific lighting situation. This color will give you that organic, calming vibe that makes every room feel like a retreat. Benjamin Moore Edgecomb Gray is the perfect choice when you want a warm gray that doesn't feel cold or institutional. This color has been a designer favorite for years, and for good reason. In our recent project in Greenwich, we used Edgecomb Gray in a formal living room that had beautiful crown molding, and it highlighted all the architectural details while still feeling warm and inviting. Edgecomb Gray is technically a warm gray, but it has these beautiful beige undertones that prevent it from feeling stark or unwelcoming. We typically use this in formal spaces, master bedrooms, and dining rooms where you want sophistication without sacrificing warmth. The thing to be aware of with Edgecombe Gray is that it can look slightly purple in certain lighting conditions, particularly with cool LED bulbs, so warm lighting is essential. This color will give you that elegant, refined look that makes your home feel expensive and well-designed. Sherwin Williams. Agreeable Gray is hands down the most versatile neutral when you want something that works with absolutely everything. I call this the chameleon of paint colors because it adapts to whatever you put with it. In our recent whole house project in Darien, we used Agreeable Gray throughout the entire home, and it created this beautiful, cohesive flow while still allowing each room to have its own personality through furniture and accessories. Agreeable Gray is a true Greige that leans slightly warm, making it perfect for open floor plans where you need one color to work in multiple spaces with different lighting conditions. We've used this color in every room imaginable, from kitchens to bathrooms to bedrooms, and it never disappoints. The only caution with Agreeable Gray is that it can look flat in rooms without enough natural light, so make sure to add plenty of warm, artificial lighting. This color will give you that perfect neutral backdrop that lets your furniture and art be the stars of the show. Benjamin Moore, White Dove is the ultimate choice when you want a soft white that feels warm and welcoming rather than stark and cold. This has become our go-to white for trim and ceilings, but it also works beautifully on walls. In a recent kitchen renovation in New Canaan, we used White Dove on all the cabinets and walls, and it created this bright, airy feeling without the harshness of a pure white. White Dove has just enough cream undertones to feel warm, but it's still white enough to make spaces feel larger and brighter. We use this color in kitchens, bathrooms, and any space where you want a clean, fresh look that doesn't feel sterile. The key thing with White Dove is that it can look slightly yellow next to pure whites, so if you're mixing whites in the same space, make sure they're all in the same family. This color will give you that classic, timeless look that photographs beautifully and makes every other color in your room look more vibrant. Sherwin Williams Creamy is perfect when you want something warmer than white but not as bold as beige. This color has been having a major moment because it gives you that cozy, lived-in feeling that everyone is craving right now. In our recent farmhouse renovation, we used Creamy in the master bedroom, and it created this warm, enveloping feeling that made the room feel like a luxury hotel suite. Creamy has beautiful, warm undertones that make it feel sophisticated and expensive, and it pairs perfectly with both warm and cool accent colors. We typically use this in bedrooms, dining rooms, and cozy living spaces where you want to create an intimate atmosphere. The thing to watch for with Creamy is that it can look too yellow in rooms with a lot of warm artificial light, so cooler lighting actually works better with this color. This color will give you that expensive designer look that makes guests feel immediately comfortable and relaxed. Benjamin Moore. Stonington Gray is your best choice when you want a true gray that doesn't feel cold or unwelcoming. This color has been gaining popularity because it gives you that sophisticated gray look without the harshness of cooler grays. In a recent project in Stamford, we used Stonington Gray in a home office, and it created this calm, focused environment that was perfect for productivity. Stonington Gray is a warm gray with subtle beige undertones that prevent it from feeling stark or institutional. We use this color in offices, bedrooms, and formal spaces where you want sophistication and calm. The key thing with Stonington Gray is that it can look slightly blue in rooms with a lot of natural light, so make sure to test it in your specific lighting conditions. This color will give you that modern, sophisticated look that feels current without being trendy. Finally, Sherwin Williams Balanced Beige is the perfect choice when you want a true beige that feels warm and welcoming without being too bold or overwhelming. This color represents the return to warmer neutrals that we're seeing everywhere in 2025. In our most recent project in Westport, we used Balanced Beige in a family room, and it created this cozy gathering space that the whole family gravitates toward. Balanced Beige has these beautiful warm undertones that make it feel sophisticated and timeless, and it works beautifully with both traditional and modern decor styles. We typically use this in living rooms, family rooms, and dining rooms where you want to create a warm, welcoming atmosphere. The thing to be careful about with Balanced Beige is that it can look too orange in rooms with a lot of warm artificial light, so cooler lighting helps balance it out. This color will give you that warm, inviting look that makes your home feel like a sanctuary. Now let me share some crucial insights about working with these colors that I've learned from years of experience. When choosing between these 10 options, consider the natural light in your space first, because this will be the biggest factor in how your chosen color actually looks. North-facing rooms tend to have cooler, bluer light, which means warmer colors like accessible beige, natural linen, and balanced beige will help counteract that coolness. South-facing rooms get warm, golden light throughout most of the day, which means you can get away with cooler neutrals like Stonington gray without the room feeling cold. The size of your space and ceiling height matter tremendously. Darker colors like balanced beige and edgecomb gray can make small rooms feel cozy, but they can also make them feel cramped if you don't have enough natural light. In small spaces with limited natural light, stick to lighter options like cloud white, white dove, or natural linen to keep the space feeling open and airy. The finish you choose is just as important as the color itself. For most wall applications, I recommend an eggshell or satin finish, because these finishes hide imperfections better than flat paint while still being easy to clean and maintain. Flat paint shows every fingerprint and scuff mark, so it's really only practical in low-traffic areas. When it comes to testing these colors, don't just paint small swatches. Paint large sections, at least 2 feet by 2 feet, on multiple walls so you can see how the color looks in different lighting conditions. Live with these test patches for at least a week, observing them in morning light, afternoon light, evening light, and artificial light. Take photos with your phone because sometimes the camera picks up undertones that your eye doesn't immediately notice. Remember, those cool grays and stark whites that dominated the last decade are officially over, and making the switch to these warmer neutrals will instantly update your home's look. The most important thing I can tell you is to always test your chosen color in your specific space with your specific lighting before painting entire rooms. Paint large swatches on multiple walls and observe them at different times of day. Don't forget to consider what's already in your room, your flooring, your furniture, your window treatments, because even the most beautiful neutral can clash if it's not the right undertone for your space. These 10 colors represent the direction that interior design is heading in 2025, toward warmer, more welcoming neutrals that make our homes feel like true sanctuaries rather than sterile showrooms.